Hi friends, a very good morning, and can you please confirm in the chat window if you're able to see me clearly and if you can hear my voice clearly, so that we know that there are no technical glitches and we can get started. Again, I've seen some students putting in a lot of questions, so I thought I'll join a few minutes early, answer a few questions before we start the formal session itself at 11 a.m. So could you please confirm, is there any are there any glitches? Can you please let me know if there are any glitches? Loud and clear. Okay, good, crystal clear. Cool, very good, very good. Since there are no technical glitches, I'll try to answer a few questions that I see in the chat window. Very good. So one question from Akash is, what are the required skills before taking the diploma program? I mean, the university given guidelines is 12th class mathematics, right? So you should have studied mathematics in your +1, +2 or equivalent. If you have done your diploma in engineering and then BTech in engineering, that also works. So the only prerequisite we will assume is high school level mathematics. All programming, actually we cover a lot of mathematics also, but the only expectation we have is that you have studied mathematics at +2, I mean 10 +2 level, and that's the only prerequisite that we assume. Again, if you have studied diploma in engineering, that also works because you would have studied all the necessary math either in your diploma or your BTech program. So that's the expectation. That's the only prerequisite. That's also what. Okay, that was my alarm for starting the session, but I started a little early. Let me turn off the alarm that I have. Just give me a second. Yeah, so that's the only prerequisite that we have, yeah, so we'll cover everything from scratch. Right. So again, we understand that a lot of you might have forgotten the calculus that you learned in your 11th and 12th class, the linear algebra that you learned, even the coordinate geometry that you may have learned in your high school. We will cover all of that. We will start from what is an equation of a line. We'll also start from as far as mathematics is concerned. We will recap all of the calculus that you need for machine learning. From a programming standpoint, we'll start everything from scratch because this program is available not just for computer science professionals, it's open for everyone. That's why we will cover programming from scratch. Cool. Okay. So another good question that some students are asking here is about GATE. Is GATE a good path towards a career in AI? Is this a good option? I mean, GATE is certainly a good option, but GATE also comes with a few clauses, which is, as a general category student, if you do not get a GATE rank under 500, you will not get into a top university, thereby limiting the scope for you. Again, if you don't join a top university, an MTech may not be as worthwhile in the industry if you don't join a top university. If you join a top university, pursue a master's degree in computer science or AI, surely it is a great thing. It will surely add a lot of value, without doubt. And again, we have a lot of students from top universities like Indian Institute of Science, IIT, etc., who are course enrolled students for the AI course because they want to learn all the practical aspects, the real world industry focused aspects from our courses, right? So we have that also. Having said that, GATE, the biggest challenge with GATE is getting into the top 500 ranks. That's non-trivial, requires a lot of effort, and if you can do that, great. So I would recommend you do that. I mean, if you get a good GATE rank, surely go for that. So okay. So very interesting. Saurabh says, do I need to learn other development skills like web development and Android along with this to get good job offers? Again, if you're looking for a career in data science, what you would need is core programming skills, basic data structures, algorithms that are relevant in the context of machine learning and AI, all the underlying mathematics. You don't have to know web development or Android development per se. So again, folks, we will start the session itself at 11 a.m. I've just joined early, seeing all the questions. I thought I'll answer a few of them before the live session starts. Again, some of you have emailed us your questions. I have a huge list of consolidated emails. I will surely answer those questions also in this webinar. Cool. Is JavaScript used anywhere in AI? Not so much, but there are some web apps built which try to run machine learning models on the browser. So if you know JavaScript, you can build some of those, but they're fairly simplistic. Even if you know Python programming, picking that small aspect of JavaScript shouldn't be very hard. Okay. Will applied routes introduce gate course for ECE? Not this year. So some questions around how is the diploma different from applied AI course? I will surely cover that in the actual session. I have detailed notes of it. I'll surely go step by step. I'll surely cover that. Okay, interesting. Okay. Can freshers join as research scientist in a top company? Again, research scientist role itself is mostly, again, I'm not saying all companies, but a large number of companies who look for research scientists typically hire PhDs or professors from universities or people with at least a few years of research experience. What you can join as fresher is something called as an applied scientist role. That's what I worked on. Right? Applied scientists typically take cutting edge research and convert that into products and solutions for the company. Research scientists mostly work on core research. Again, there are some people who join as research scientists or research engineers in core research teams, but very few such roles exist. Cool. So is Python sufficient for all neural network matrix manipulation, etc.? Yes. Python is one of the most widely used languages for all of machine learning and data science today. Again, under the hood, Python itself uses optimized C and C++ code to do heavy duty mathematics. For example, take any library, right, in Python. Take something like NumPy or take TensorFlow, take OpenCV. All of these libraries, while you can write the code in Python, under the hood, all the operations are being done in C or C++. So that's one of the good aspects of Python, that you can write code in Python and all the compute heavy stuff is still managed in C++ or C. Cool. Does applied AI course cover all the math to crack product-based companies? Yes. So we cover everything needed even to crack applied scientist roles at top product-based companies. Yes. The same will be the case even for the diploma program. Cool. Okay. Okay, so since it's anyway 11 a.m., let's get started with the session. I have some notes that I prepared that I'll cover, but I also have general questions that students asked. So since it's anyway 11 a.m., let's get started with it. So this whole session, as we mentioned in the announcement video, we will first cover the landscape of AI needs in the industry. Some of you have asked that questions in the chat window. I'll cover that. After which I'll cover all the AI roles and career transition, how it is to be done, and the learning path through our diploma program. At the end, I will tackle a bunch of Q&A. Again, please put your questions in the chat window. Our team is consolidating all the most popular questions. We will try and answer as many as possible. Again, my team is sharing all the consolidated questions on my phone. So I'll answer all the Q&A at the very end. If it requires more than 1 hour, that's okay. I will spend more time trying to answer as many questions as possible. Okay. First, let's get started with because I see a lot of questions on that side also. So first and foremost, let's understand the landscape of AI needs. Today, if you see, AI is impacting many more areas than it was even just a few years back. I'll give you a simple example. I go to my bank to do my KYC, know your customer, right? That is today, partly because of COVID, partly because of technology development. That's all being done by AI engines today. I know at least a couple of companies that are actually building end-to-end solutions just to do digital and video KYC using AI algorithms. I mean, this is AI in banking. I know companies like HDFC, one of the top banks in India, top private sector banks in India, who is building a dedicated data science and machine learning team for banking needs, for mining banking data to provide better services in-house. Of course, they also use external service providers, but they're also building their teams in-house. For example, Ernst & Young, I believe, recently announced that they'll be having thousands of machine learning and data science jobs across a wide spectrum of competencies. So data science and machine learning, interestingly, requires, broadly speaking, a lot of domain expertise. So suppose, imagine if you have, I see this question in the chat window. Somebody saying I have 4 years, 5 years in banking and financial services. What types of roles can I look for? Always, if you already have some experience, try to build on that experience. You have domain expertise of banking and financial services. So knowing machine learning and data science will help you understand what problems in banking and financial services can be solved using data. A simple example being digital KYC. And you can join companies which either provide these services like TCS, Infosys, etc., or you can join the fintech companies. There are a lot of fintech companies, whether it's Paytm, whether it is PhonePe, whether it is Google Pay, Amazon Pay, right? All these companies are also providing fintech services. So if you already have banking and financial services domain expertise, with the knowledge of data science and machine learning, you can build on top of this expertise and try to transition into careers where there is that interaction. Because in a lot of data science and machine learning, domain expertise is often overlooked, but a very, very important aspect. When I worked on online advertising, I learned a lot from people who have been doing this for decades, right? So it's when I worked on e-commerce, I talked to product managers who understand the business better than any of us, right? So it's very, very important for you to build on your expertise. For example, one of the questions that I saw here was, imagine if I'm a product manager, right? How does learning machine learning or AI help me? Again, one of the biggest scarcities in the market today is product managers and program managers who can run machine learning teams or machine learning products and services. Because the classical product managers know product management, they don't know what is possible with AI and machine learning. Similarly, classical program managers know how to manage software engineering programs. They may not know how to do machine learning and AI programs. So if you're a program manager or a product manager or even a manager or development manager, learning machine learning and data science will help you explore these opportunities of a machine learning product manager or a machine learning program manager, because there is a huge scarcity in those roles, huge scarcity, like crazy high scarcity, right? So that's another thing. Again, if you're a software engineer, obviously there are multiple roles that you can target. You can either join as a data scientist, you can join as a machine learning engineer, you can even join as an applied scientist, right? Again, we have a dedicated video on our channel which you can look for, which is the title of the video is How to Learn AI and Machine Learning in 6 months. It's there on our YouTube channel, where we describe the 3 or 4 types of roles. Broadly speaking, you have the data analyst type of role, who mostly uses domain expertise and knowledge of data science and basic machine learning systems to create business value. Then you have data scientists who have more mathematical knowledge, rigorous knowledge of more techniques. And data scientists also, again, both data analysts and data scientists are expected to know some programming, but not at the same level as a software engineer. So those of you who are already software engineers could think of roles like machine learning engineer, where it's 50% software engineering and 50% machine learning. Then there is applied scientist role, where there is a lot of expectation on mathematical depth of understanding. Those are broadly the roles that you have. Again, these are just some examples of roles. There are other roles also. Again, we have a detailed video called How to Learn AI and Machine Learning in 6 months, where we describe all these roles in lots of detail. Now, if you're a non-computer science student, right, or if you're a non-IT student, there are still, again, we see a lot of non-CS, non-computer science people, whether they're from finance background, whether they're from marketing background, sales, in all these areas also moving to careers in data science and machine learning, because domain expertise is extremely important. Like, for example, imagine you come from, let's say, a sales team. Okay, I'll give you a simple example. Imagine you have expertise in sales. Nowadays, a lot of sales lead generation happens through email or some digital channel like Facebook or Instagram or whatever, or all the digital channels basically, right? Even email in some cases. So one of the things that a lot of companies, including small startups like ours, what we try to do is we try to go through all the emails and say, hey, which of these leads are most likely to convert, right? From the smallest of companies to the largest, like big giant companies, try to build these simple systems. And this helps sales teams provide or better allocate their resources to following those leads which have a higher chance of converting. So if you already have domain expertise in sales, you know how things work. Knowing machine learning and data science will help you build these solutions for a wide spectrum of companies, from the smallest of companies to the world's giants, on better creating a sales funnel. Similarly, a lot of marketing is now digital marketing. In digital marketing, there is a lot of application of machine learning, data science, etc. Because I worked on that front for companies like Amazon, I understand it firsthand, right? So that's another thing that you can pursue. So whatever your background is, try to build on that background, and there are a lot of careers, right? For example, we have some students from mechanical engineering and electrical engineering background, right? So those students, again, lot of manufacturing jobs, whether it's at steel plants, whether it's at large manufacturing facilities, whether it's at automobile companies, a lot of these companies are investing in predictive maintenance. That's one big area that's taking off in the fields of electrical and mechanical systems. Companies want their equipment to run longer, which means they want to predict any possible failure to decrease the downtime. I know at least 3-4 companies in India. We have even mentored one company ourselves who is building predictive maintenance solutions in India, right? So that's one huge area of potential growth in the next 5 to 10 years, especially for mechanical engineering and electrical engineering students or people with that background. Okay, cool. So the roles are increasing massively. There is a huge spectrum of roles. Again, whatever your background is, just like one very famous Silicon Valley investor said, software is eating the world because everything is being improved using software. I think the first layer of improvement for any product or service is software. The second layer is AI, data science, and machine learning. So right now, lot of, whether it's banking, whether it's financial services, whether it's sales, marketing, lot of software has been built to enable this and to improve it. The next layer on top of software will be data science and machine learning, which is already happening. Like any company, simply put, if a company can save, let's say 10% of their expenditure by using a slightly better optimized system through AI and data science, why won't a company do it? If it costs a minuscule amount to do it. Very simple logic, right? Imagine if you have a sales team and you want to increase your, if you know that your sales can be increased by 10 or 20% by using data science at a minuscule cost, why won't you do it? If your marketing can be optimized using this, why not do it? If your product development or if your ticket resolution, right, can be optimized, if you can test software faster using machine learning and AI, why not do it? So what's happening here is software is the first layer for most roles. On top of, again, software has already penetrated into many areas, as I just mentioned. The next layer obviously will be AI, data science, and smartness behind it. Okay, cool. So that's a broad landscape of AI needs, and as you might have seen, as you might have read, Ernst & Young or E&Y is starting a few thousand data science roles in India in the coming year. So there is that need that companies, imagine even a startup like ours, we have so many pieces of the puzzle which we run using AI machine learning. Let me give you a simple example. We get close to 1,000 questions that students ask us as part of our AI course and other key courses that we have. For all these 1,000 courses, we have a dedicated team of mentors who answer these questions within just a few hours, many times, in the worst case under 24 hours. Now, when a student asks a question via email, our system looks at the lakhs of questions that we've already answered in the last 3 years. We've answered literally a few lakh questions, lakhs of questions, not just a single lakh. I think it's crossed 3 lakh recently, if I'm not wrong. So we have answered lakhs of questions. The moment a student asks a question, it looks for similar questions in our whole database of questions. And it gives the mentor who is answering, saying that, hey, this question looks very similar to this. This question is already answered. You might want to copy paste some of it, edit the answer and send it faster. Right? So this has enabled us to improve the speed at which we are responding to students' questions. Imagine a startup like ours is able to pull that off and create value by doing it, by responding to questions faster. Right? Again, AI and machine learning can improve the operations of everyone from a smallest of startups to giant corporations. And that's where the key value is. So next is AI roles and career transitions. As I just mentioned, there are a spectrum of AI roles. So if you especially come from a non-IT background, the most relevant roles for you will be a data analyst or a data scientist role, based on by building on top of your domain expertise and learning the necessary programming, necessary data science and machine learning concepts. The more mathematically deep and advanced you learn, the more chances you'll get into a data scientist role. That's the first type of roles, especially for non-IT background folks. If you come from an IT background, then the types of roles that you have would be a data scientist, a machine learning engineer, sometimes even an applied scientist. I'll come to applied scientist in just a few minutes. So as far as a data scientist and a machine learning engineer is concerned, if you already have software development experience of a couple of years, you can try for the machine learning engineer, where half your work will be around software engineering, half your work will focus, roughly speaking, half your work will be around machine learning and data science. And if you come from, let's say, if you're a fresh engineering graduate, then you can easily look for a data scientist or a machine learning engineer role. An applied scientist role expects you to have a lot of mathematical depth, especially if you come from fields like mathematics, statistics, physics, computer science, ECE, EEE, etc. You can, where you have a lot of mathematical depth and rigor, you can look for applied scientist roles also. And for a machine learning engineer, you should be able to solve medium hardness of problems. For all other roles, there is programming expectation for sure, but you don't have to be an expert programmer like a typical software engineer. There will be about 30% focus on programming, basic data structures, etc. And there will be 70% focus on core machine learning and data science concepts itself, right? So cool. So those are broadly the roles that you have. As far as career transition itself is concerned, what we strongly recommend students is to spend 6 to potentially 1 year learning all the concepts. When you're learning, try to focus on 3 things, 3 very, very important things. 1, the ability to program, very, very important for data scientists, for any of the data science and machine learning roles. Even for a data analyst, it's very important. Programming in a slightly advanced language like Python, because it's more widely used. Also SQL, because you want to fetch data from databases, so SQL is most widely used there. Second thing you have to focus on is understanding the underlying mathematics behind each of the concepts in statistics, linear algebra, machine learning models, etc. You have to understand the mathematics. If you don't understand the mathematics, why should somebody hire a data scientist? They can hire a Python developer, right? So having a good understanding of the underlying mathematics, both intuitively and also in core mathematics level, is very, very important for most data science and machine learning roles. The third aspect, which is very important, is an applicative knowledge. So just having theoretical knowledge is not sufficient. You need to have the applicative knowledge on how do you apply the concepts you learned to solve real world problems. That is extremely, extremely important, right? That's why in the diploma program, there are 2 core tenets to the diploma program. One is it's going to be heavily industry focused. We have a team of about 20 industry experts from various companies, from Google, Facebook, Amazon, IBM, Watson, Infosys, etc., who have close to at least 5 years of experience, most of them with a decade of experience, who have helped us create the program for, create the contents and the curriculum for the diploma program. Similarly, in addition to being industry focused, it will also be academically rigorous. That's where the University of Hyderabad comes into picture. We have worked with University of Hyderabad and the School of Computing, and also we have worked with some of the faculty members in the mathematics department there to create a very academically rigorous but industry relevant. We have to balance both of them. We don't want to just teach you theory. We want it to be very applicative in nature. So as far as the academic rigor itself is concerned, we borrowed a lot of concepts from how MTech in AI is currently run at University of Hyderabad. We also looked at MTech in AI that is conducted at Indian Institute of Science, which is where I studied. So we looked at a lot of these MTech in AI programs at some of India's top universities and borrowed a lot of academically rigorous concepts from there and incorporated that into this whole diploma program. So this diploma program has 2 core tenets. First and most important is industry focus. Second is academic rigor, right? So by having both these, you will be able to cover all the 3 core aspects. You'll be able to cover programming, all the necessary programming proficiency you need. You will cover the mathematical depth that you need to get into data science and machine learning careers. Also the applicative knowledge that you need to excel in these roles. Okay, those are the 3 things that we're trying to balance through in this whole diploma program. Now, how will the learning path in the diploma program be? Right. So Again, there are a couple of questions about when will it start. I'll just answer those questions in just a few minutes, folks. So because of COVID, right? Some students did not get their graduating certificates, etc. So on behalf of students, we requested the University of Hyderabad to delay the program by just a few days, right? So the program will start in the last week of January, right? So the tentative dates are around 28th or so. So we'll start it we'll kick off the whole program in the last week, and we moved it slightly. We were initially planning to start it in the first or second week of Jan, but because some students who are just graduating in 2020 did not get their certificates, we requested the university on behalf of them, and they said, okay, we'll make an exception because of COVID, because some people did not get their certificates. So it's moved to, and we will not move it any further because we want to get started with the program. The program will start in the last week of January, most likely around 28th. Okay, so I think that's one of the questions there. So as far as the learning path in the diploma program is concerned, the program itself is designed with a very postgraduate level focus. That's why we have borrowed a lot of concepts on academic rigor and industry focus from the MTech programs that are conducted by University of Hyderabad, Indian Institute of Science, etc. Now, having said that, one of the questions that students are also asking about this program. Okay, let me go through the program, then I'll come to Q&A, right? So this program itself is broken up into 2 semesters. Each semester will have 3 courses. The first semester will cover the foundations of AI, will cover basic data analysis and visualization, and basic machine learning programs. Again, I have a detailed video on our YouTube channel that we created just a few days back about the curriculum itself, right? Again, the curriculum will focus both on industry relevance and academic rigor, both, right? So the whole, again, there is a very detailed video explaining each of the subjects and what you learn in each of the subjects, right? So the learning path is over the next 12 months in this program. By the end of it, we want you to have all the 3 key skill sets: the programming proficiency, the depth of mathematical understanding, and the applied knowledge. Because once you have that, cracking jobs or transitioning to careers should be straightforward. And as we have already informed all of you earlier, once you finish the 2 semesters, at the end of the 2 semesters, our placements team from Applied Roots will help you refine your resume, number 1, prepare you for cracking various jobs, whether it's data analyst, data scientist, machine learning engineer, etc. And we will work with you to connect you to multiple companies. Some companies, as some of you might know at Applied AI course, are conducting screening tests to shortlist candidates, just like any university placements, right? So we will help you for 6 months after that. That is as part of the job assistance program by Applied Roots. Once you finish the whole 1-year program, we will help you get into some of these roles. Again, performing well in this diploma program, getting good grades will surely help you get better roles. No doubts about it, right? So we strongly recommend that students who are joining here, once again, most importantly, congratulations to all the students who have gotten admission letters. I'm very happy that some of you got it. All the shortlisting was done by a joint committee, primarily run by University of Hyderabad. And I'm very happy that some of you already, some of you who applied early got their admission letters. Students who are currently applying are yet to get their admission letters. We are taking, the university is roughly taking about 2 weeks to roll out admission letters after reviewing through all the details that you have shared, whether it's your marks, educational background, your work experience, etc. Okay, so as part of the job assistance program, we will provide you job assistance by the placement cell at Applied Roots for 6 months after the completion of your 1-year diploma program, right? So the diploma program, I think okay, I'll come to questions in a little while. Sorry, it's getting distracted. But yeah, so these were some of the things that I wanted to cover, but there are also some questions that students have emailed us. So let me cover some of these questions. These are questions that my team has shortlisted, and okay, let me go one by one. What is the program starting date? I just mentioned that a while ago. It will be in the last week of January 2021. Okay, so, and applications are open. On behalf of all of our students, we have also requested University of Hyderabad to have a rolling admission, by which I mean please apply as soon as possible. The university will verify all your certificates and roll out admission letters to you, right? So again, all this is because of some students not having the certificates even though they graduated in 2020, etc. How is the course different from, okay, so let me just look at this question here. Okay, so how is the diploma program different from the applied AI course? There are 3-4 key differences. So let me go one by one. So the first one is, this is so applied AI course, we give a course completion certificate at the end, while in this program you get a diploma certificate with mark sheets like a typical academic degree, right? You will get proper academic credentials from one of the top universities. So you'll get a diploma certificate with mark sheets, all of that rigorously from University of Hyderabad. So that's one key difference and key advantage also. Now you might say, hey, why is this advantageous? Why is this advantageous? So one major difference or one key advantage you might have by pursuing a academically rigorous program and getting a degree or a diploma from a university would be that some companies, not all companies, but some companies, when they shortlist candidates, they give more importance to candidates who have academic credentials in addition to skills. Remember, at the end of the day, to crack any job, you need skills, right? If you don't have skills, you can't crack jobs. That's straightforward. Both applied AI course and the diploma program is trying to grant you or trying to help you learn those skills. Applied AI course is run completely by Applied Roots and AIC Technologies Private Limited, while the diploma in AI and machine learning is jointly organized in collaboration with the University of Hyderabad to give an academically rigorous certification. It's not a certification, it's actually a diploma/degree, right? Given, which is recognized by Government of India. Right? That's very, very important for us, because just giving a certificate is not helpful. We want to give a degree or a diploma that is backed by Government of India with rigorous academic credentials. And such credentials are respected by some companies, and we have observed this in our own experience working with a lot of recruiters, that recruiters do give a slight advantage when they're shortlisting candidates based on their academic credentials and also the grades. For example, imagine if you get a first class with distinction in the diploma program. That means a lot, because University of Hyderabad, being one of the top research universities in India, getting a first class with distinction basically shows that you have a lot of academic credentials, a lot of strong academic background, right? So that does help without doubt. So in a nutshell, it will give you an increased opportunity. Okay, suppose imagine that when you apply to companies or when companies review your resume, you will have a larger percentage of companies which will shortlist your resume based on the academic degree or a diploma, like the diploma in AI and machine learning from UH. There are two other differences. We conduct live sessions in our applied AI course. We conduct anywhere from 35 to 50 live sessions as part of applied AI course. As part of the diploma program, we'll have live sessions very similar to AI course, but we are trying to conduct more of them. We're also getting working professionals with a lot of experience. We're trying to, we already have a few people who signed up. So we'll have, again, all these interactive live sessions for the diploma program will be on the weekend itself to accommodate all working professionals. And we expect working professionals to spend about 10 hours a week on the whole diploma program to be able to about 10 to 12 hours, right? To be able to successfully complete and get good grades, make the most out of it, basically. So as part of the interactive sessions, we are already working with a few guest lecturers or a few invited speakers from some of the world's top companies with at least 5 to 10 years of experience in data science and machine learning. We already have people joining us from Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Flipkart, IBM Watson, right? Infosys, Wipro, etc. So we have a bunch of those working professionals who will take some of these interactive live sessions. In addition to our own team, we also have requested, we're also working, most likely it will also reach its logical conclusion. We're also working with university professors at various universities like IITs, Indian Institute of Science, even foreign top universities like or postdoctoral fellows or assistant professors at some of the top universities in the US. So we also requested them. Some of them have agreed. So they will be part of these live sessions, right? So in addition to what we have at Applied AI course, we are planning to conduct more live sessions as part of the diploma program. And we have a dedicated team of mentors exclusively for the diploma program. And since the diploma program is constrained by number of people that the UOH admits, We have a dedicated team, and we hope we'll be able to provide world-class mentorship for the diploma program also. Right? That's one of the fundamental differences between the applied AI course and the diploma program. The fundamental difference being an academically rigorous degree. That's a fundamental difference. Cool. Some students are asking questions on the lines of how is this beneficial for career transition? Whereas again, that's what I just mentioned, right? You have increased opportunity in getting your resume shortlisted, right? So a few other questions. First, let me answer these. Then I'll go to the then I'll go to the chat window itself. These are questions that our team has collated. So how should I register? Very simple. Just go to appliedroutes.com/diploma. There will be a apply for this. Apply for the. You can apply for there. You can apply from that portal. Again, this live session also has that link below, which is appliedroutes.com/diploma. Okay, how to apply? Again, we have a dedicated video on our YouTube channel. Please check it out on how to apply. Will I get course material? Very good question. So the way we are planning to organize this course, again, just wanted to walk you through that briefly, is we have these 3 subjects in the first semester, right? The first subject is Foundations of AI. So what we are planning to do is first we'll cover that subject, because that will give you strong foundations both in mathematics and in programming. Then we go to the next thing. So we'll do these 3 courses in a sequential fashion, and in each of these courses on weekly basis, we'll give you a few hours of content that you can cover and come to the weekend session, right? So the way we are trying to do it is like a blended course, wherein we give you roughly about 6 to 7 hours of content that you can watch at any point in the week. Some of you might do it on a Saturday. Some of you might do all the 6 hours in one day. Some of you might do 1 hour every day. Whatever it is, we'll give you about 6 to 7 hours of video content that you can watch. Again, at any point, if you're stuck in the video content, if you don't understand, we are there to solve your issues, right? So the continuous support and mentorship will be there throughout the week. It's not that we'll only clear your answers in the weekend. No. So during the whole week, you will have all these concepts that you can cover. And we'll also have some simple quizzes, simple questions. Again, these quizzes are not meant to give you grades, right? So these just a second. Okay, so the objective here is not to give you grades, but these questions will help you self-evaluate what you understood, what you did not understand, right? So every week you'll get about 6 to 7 hours of content that you can go through. Then there will be a weekend 1 or 2 sessions. One session surely for sure. Second session if you have a guest lecturer that week. So again, you'll have more guest lectures as we progress, because you would have covered more basic concepts to understand some of what the guest lecturers are speaking or trying to communicate to you. So in the weekends, at the end of the week, so for example, let's assume you covered some 6 hours of content. At the end of the week, what we will try and do is, based on all the answers that you've given for the quizzes, again, these quizzes are not to grade you. We will not count that in your grading. It is only to evaluate or to self-evaluate where you stand. Based on all the answers you have given, we understand what are the gaps you have in your understanding. We'll clarify all of that in the interactive session in the weekend, number 1. The most important thing that we'll do in the weekend is we will translate all the concepts you learned. We will discuss about how to apply them to real world instances in this interactive session. So in the weekend interactive sessions, we will fill the gaps that you might have in the concepts that you learned the week before, based on the quizzes, based on your answers, where all you're getting stuck, number 1. Number 2 is we will cover some real world applications on how the concepts you learned are applied in the real world and used in the real world. Third, we'll also prepare you for the examinations that University of Hyderabad would conduct. So you'll have a mid-semester exam and you'll have a finals end of semester exam. 10% of the marks for any course, 10% of the marks would be just for watching the videos and for attempting the quizzes. It's the 10% marks are not on how you performed on the quiz. It is if you just attempt the quizzes, that's good enough. This just shows that you have put in the effort. 10% of marks will be for that. 30% of the marks will be for the mid-semester exam, which will be again, and 60% of the marks will be end of semester exam, right? So the mid-semester and the end semester exam will be conducted completely online. You don't have to come physically to the university campus or to university test centers. We have discussed extensively with the university both the university and we have agreed and built an online proctoring system, wherein when you take the examination, there will be a recording of your video screen of your computer and the webcam also throughout the examination. And the examination pattern itself, that's another question. So you would need a laptop or a desktop with a webcam and microphone to participate in this course. As far as programming is concerned, most of the programming can be done even on entry-level laptops or desktops. We also have web portals like Google Colab, etc., that we will use extensively throughout the program, so as to accommodate students who may not have high compute resources. Right? Entry-level laptop or desktop with a webcam and a mic and a speaker are sufficient. Right? Very simple configuration is all that you need. So having said that, so these examinations will be video proctored, which means there will be a video recording of the person and the video recording of the screen itself, and anyone who is found cheating, all the action will be taken by University of Hyderabad, and the examination questions themselves will be very similar to what University of Hyderabad conducts for their regular courses. So they have an MTech in AI, MTech in computer science programs, right? So you'll have a few fill in the blank type questions. You will have a few multiple choice or a multi-select type of questions. You would also have short answer question. You will not have detailed answers like other universities. You will have a short answer question where you'll have to answer the question given in less than 100 or 200 words. Right? So there will be short answer descriptive. Again, we will limit the number of words that you can type there. So it will be short answer type. It will be multiple choice. It will be fill in the blanks. It will be multi-select, which means for a multiple choice question, if multiple choices can be correct, that's called a multi-select question, right? And there might be some questions where you have to write small snippets of code or correct a small snippet of code, right? Again, these are the types of questions that the University of Hyderabad asks for the regular on-campus programs. So the examinations, everything will be conducted by University of Hyderabad as per their academic standards for their regular programs, right? So I hope that again, you can take this examination at your own home. Just make sure that you have a decent internet connection with a webcam and microphone and speaker enabled laptop or desktop. That is mandatory, right? Again, we will inform you of all the examination dates. We'll conduct all examinations only over weekends so that you can join these exams without any conflict with your education or your work, right? Cool. Another question is, okay, so I covered the system requirements. Just a second. I'm just looking at the questions that my team is collating. Can foreign students attend this? Yes. Again, because this is a program run by University of Hyderabad under the Government of India norms, this program can be taken by foreign students also, whether they are Indian, foreign students of Indian origin or foreign students of non-Indian nationality. You can take it. The fee structure for them is slightly different as per Government of India norms, but otherwise it's all the same. Again, the fee structure for Indian residents living in India is 39,000 rupees per semester. This includes all taxes and GST. So it comes to 78,000 rupees for the whole 2-semester long program. For Indian nationals living abroad, the fee structure is slightly different. For non-Indian nationals living abroad, the fee structure is slightly different. Please go to appliedroutes.com/diploma to look at the fee structure for foreign nationals as well as Indian nationals residing abroad. Cool. So, okay, so another bunch of quick question here is, okay, so let's go here. How about exam mode? I answered that question. Do you need to visit the UIH campus? You don't have to visit the UIH campus itself. And to give you a sense of the University of Hyderabad's rigor, academic rigor, right? UIH is one of those rare universities in India, apart from IIT, few IITs and Indian Institute of Science. It is one of those rare universities which is recognized by Government of India as an institute of eminence. Again, that tag is not given to every university. Okay, that is a recognition from Government of India that this is one of India's top universities, which is catering to the needs of the next generation of learners and next generation of leaders, right? So the Institute of Eminence tag or the Institute of Eminence recognition by Government of India is given only to a handful of universities in India. I believe Indian Institute of Science is one. If I'm not wrong, I think 1 or 2 IITs also have that. Not all IITs, but only some of them. UIH is one of such institutes in India because it's a core research institute, right? So that, I think that's one of the reasons why they got it, along with universities like Indian Institute of Science, etc. So let me answer a few more questions here. Okay, so exam mode I discussed. Do you need to visit the UIH campus? You don't have to visit the UIH campus itself, but you will get a student ID card. So it's very important. Once you're admitted, once you join the program, everybody will get a proper university admit card, right? I mean, again, that's part of the Government of India norms, that anybody who is a participant, even in an online program, should get a student ID card. So you will get those student ID cards just to make this program in line with what the Government of India recommends for all UGC backed programs. Now, another question, I talked about exam pattern, examination mode. Okay, what about the thesis project? A very interesting question. So how hard will the thesis project be? Again, throughout this course or throughout the program, across multiple courses, we would solve so many real world problems. We'll solve at least 15 real world problems end to end. While solving all this, you will understand how to tackle a real world problem. So the thesis project can be very industry focused, where you take a real world problem and tackle it. You will have mentors helping you tackle it. So if you have gone through the rest of the coursework diligently and dutifully and understood the concepts, the thesis project should be straightforward and easy for you, right? So another very interesting question that one of the, okay, let me just go through the, I have a sequence of questions here. Okay, so thesis project is done. Placement assistance, I covered it already. One other very important question is, what about the WES recognition? Some students who want to apply for jobs abroad or for admissions to foreign universities, there is something called as the WES verification. This, I believe, if I'm not wrong, like especially for Canadian permanent residency, Australian permanent residency, even for US permanent residency, all these governments work with this institution called WES to verify your academic credentials. So since UIH is a top premium university in India, UIH, any degree, any certificate, anything given by University of Hyderabad, since it is a UGC backed diploma program, it is recognized by WES and all the other governments across the world. So you can take this degree/diploma certificate and you can give it to any employer. It is recognized by all other foreign governments. You can use it for admissions to foreign universities, because when they verify this degree, again, we have verified the WES. We have also verified the WES stands for World Education Services, which tries to verify your academic credentials across the world. So this academic credentials, we also cross-checked with the University of Hyderabad. They regularly get requests via WES for a lot of foreign countries, either by the governments or by universities or by employers, for verification of their degree. And they provide all the details. They say, hey, this student studied so-and-so program. These are the marks that he got. This is the grade that he got. They share all of that. It's a standard process, right? So it is recognized by all universities, governments, and companies across the world, not just in India, right? Because again, they all recognize Government of India, and UIH is one of the institutes of eminence recognized by Government of India. So that should not be a problem. One other question here is about the sponsorship letter. I think some students are asking. We also got some emails about it, which is some of you want to participate in this program through your employer sponsorship. Like some employers, I think a lot of employers also sponsor your for your continued education. They sponsor academic programs like this. So the moment you finish your first semester, of course, your admission letter is valid. Almost all companies across the world recognize that. Now, after your first semester, we'll give you a summary from Applied AI course of the marks that you obtained, and of the grades that you got, which you can show as a proof. At the end of the whole 1 year, you will anyway get a proper certificate, like a proper degree certificate, right? like your BTech or MTech or a PhD certificate. You'll get a proper certificate from University of Hyderabad with detailed mark sheet, right? So that should not be a problem. Okay, so another very interesting question here that some of the students are asking here is, hey, I'm going for a master's program abroad in just a few months. Should I take the course? Again, it's always beneficial. I mean, if you're interested in taking the course, you can take the course. So don't worry about it. Since this is completely online, you don't have to visit a physical location. You can sign up for the course now and go on to do your master's or PhD abroad. You will learn a lot of what you will anyway learn in your master's and PhD as part of this program. Like as I just told you, right? We have a lot of students from top universities like in Institute of Science, IITs, etc. as part of our applied AI course. And the reason they join is because they want to learn what actually matters in the industry. They all, we have had some discussions with them, and they really like the content. So even if you're going for a master's program abroad to one of the best universities, you can comfortably take this program and participate in this program. So, and of course, a lot of what you are learning here will also overlap with what you learn in your master's program, and you can perform well in your master's program also. So we have had some students who take applied AI course or the diploma program and then go join the master's degree, and they perform very well because they've learned all the basics here. Okay. Okay. 1 second. So let me just cover any other questions that are here. I'll come to the rest of the questions if I can. So one other question here is, what if I'm unable to attend semester end exams? That's a very good question. So we are still discussing with the University of Hyderabad. They will give you they'll inform you of the examination date well in advance. But in case you cannot attend that, the university policy is as follows. When the examination is conducted the next time, you can sit for the examination by paying a nominal examination fee. That's it. You don't have to pay for the whole semester fee. You can retake that exam when the exam is conducted the next time by paying a nominal examination fee. I think it will be maybe 100 or 200 rupees, approximately. I'm just telling you. I think it will be just under 300 rupees examination fee. Okay, that you have to pay to the university to take the exam the next time it is conducted. Okay, cool. Another question here is a choice between cybersecurity and data science. That's a very nice question. Again, I thank all of our team and my co-founders who are collating all these questions and sharing them with me. So cybersecurity versus data science, which is good. Both of them are good careers, to be honest with you. I would say whatever career you pick, if you excel at it, nobody can stop you. But another way of looking at it here is, look at the number of job openings for cybersecurity versus data science currently, right? While cybersecurity is an emerging field, there are still significantly fewer jobs available in the marketplace today as compared to data science or machine learning or data analyst roles, etc. So if, again, I do not know how many roles will be created from cybersecurity. I see a lot of talk about it, but I've not seen as many cybersecurity job roles in the marketplace as compared to data science. So if I were a student today, I would bet on data science, because especially if I'm interested in getting a job right after my degree program or right after my graduation. Of course, but again, nobody says that you can't transition from a data science career to a cybersecurity career. You can always do it. And I'm sure a lot of cybersecurity stuff requires a lot of data analysis, especially from the front of anomaly detection, because I've read a lot of cybersecurity research work which uses techniques from data science, especially data mining and trying to understand anomalous behaviors, right? So I mean, there is also some overlap between data science and cybersecurity, especially from the data analysis front. Okay. A very interesting question here is, how would this help me if I have 8+ years or 10+ years of work experience? It's a very nice question. So this whole program was designed keeping working professionals in mind. Suppose, imagine with 8 years experience, most likely you'll be a senior software engineer. I mean, if you're into software engineering, or a senior QA engineer, right? That's typically your role. So if you already have this sort of experience, for example, take the 8+ years, the person who asked about the 8+ years experience, right? So in these 8 years, you would have learned something. You would have gained a lot of domain knowledge, whether it's testing, development, whatever it is, QA, whatever it is, right? Whether it's even sales, marketing, business development, whatever it is. For people with this sort of experience, the way you need to think about it is, you learn data science and machine learning. and try to build on top of your domain expertise, thereby trying to, because at the end of the day in data science, domain expertise is very important. It's an unfortunate reality that people overlook it, but it's super duper important. If I have to hire somebody, two people having similar knowledge, one having domain expertise, one doesn't have, I would always go for the person with domain expertise. So for people with 8 years experience, try to build on top of your experience. Suppose you have worked on, let's say, banking and financial services. You learn data science, and as part of your thesis project, you can work on a problem in the domain of banking and financial services, and that will give you an edge, right? Again, another very interesting question here is, again, this is what I would recommend for anyone with even 4 or 5 years experience, not just 8 years experience. So another very interesting question that is come up here is the thesis project only academically rigorous? No. So the thesis project itself was designed, again, remember the whole program itself is designed with industry focus and academic rigor. So if you are more focused on getting landing in a data science or a machine learning job, we would recommend you do a thesis project which is more real world or industry focused. You have an option to do academic projects also, but if your objective is to crack a job, that might doing something which is more industry focused is more relevant, right? So we believe that a vast majority of our students would want to transition to careers in data science and machine learning at the end of the diploma. Hence, thesis project, while it has the flexibility to do either academically rigorous or industry focused project, we believe a vast majority of our students will choose the industry focused project, because that's what will help them get into job roles at the end of it, right? That way, again, as part of this thesis project, you can showcase what you have learned in this whole program and build a real solution, right? A real solution that you can show to a recruiter and say, hey, this is what I built, right? Okay, again, this is a repetition of what I just mentioned a while ago, but I'll recover it, which is how many hours of effort do we need to put in? For an average student, we believe you would have to put in roughly about 10 hours a week. Okay, roughly about 10 hours a week. Some of you might have to put in maybe a couple of hours extra here and there, but 10 hours of effort a week is, again, you can put in this 10 hours of effort completely during the weekends, or you can put in 1 hour during the week and slightly more hours during the weekend. However you want to break it, we wanted to create that flexibility for working professionals, even for some students who are pursuing their master's degree or PhD and things like that, right? So to create that flexibility, again, that's one of the biggest advantages of an online program, right? Imagine if this was a regular program, you have to go to the university every day after your office work, and if you get delayed, you miss the session. So in this program, if you put in about 10 hours on an average, I think you can comfortably do very well in this program, right? So that's the effort estimation. Okay, very nice. What is the best role in data science to opt for? NLP, machine learning, deep learning, computer vision, etc. There is no one best role, to be honest with you, because there are job openings across the spectrum, but the number of job openings are typically more for natural language processing and lesser for computer vision, slightly, I mean, especially in India, right? Even in countries like US, right? Because remember, we have much larger amounts of text data. We are sitting literally on a gold mine of text data. So there are more NLP related roles than there are computer vision roles. But as part of this program, we cover everything. We cover computer vision so that you can go and crack computer vision engineer roles. We cover NLP, you can go ahead and cover NLP roles. We cover deep learning, including the state-of-the-art techniques, so that you can go and crack deep learning engineer roles, etc. So we try to cover and prepare you for all these roles. Okay. Okay, so will you cover any practical sessions in live interactive? Yes. So in the live interactive sessions in the weekends, there are 4 topics that we would focus on. First is, based on your quiz answers, we understand where you're lacking, and we will help you clarify those doubts first. And of course, at any point when you're learning the concepts, if you have a doubt, just write an email or put a comment below that video. We will answer that as soon as possible. But we will get a sense of what students are not understanding based on the quiz answers. Again, the quiz answers are not to evaluate you. They're just to get the feedback on where you're lacking and what needs to be covered and explained more, right? So that's one. Second, I think about 70% of the time in these live interactive sessions, we will focus on doing real applied stuff. Suppose you learn some basic programming related concept. I'm just giving an example. We will say how this concept that you learned, suppose let's say you learned recursion. We will talk about how recursion is actually used in the real world using a few real data science and machine learning examples. Suppose you learned about let's say a convolution neural network. We will talk about real products that you encounter which use convolution neural networks and how they use it. So a vast majority of time in these live interactive sessions will be focused on practical aspects. Even some of the guest lectures, even some of the faculty members who join to provide some of these interactive sessions, one of the key requests from our side is to focus more on real applied stuff. So that will be the core focus. Of course, we'll spend some time preparing you to perform well in the examinations also. Again, the UOH exams themselves are mixed. So they focus both on real world problem solving. They also focus on some theory. So there is a balance between them. I went through almost last 10 years of question papers from University of Hyderabad. So they have both of it. So we will prepare you for that also, because we want every student to get good marks in the examinations conducted by UOH also. Okay, cool. What is best after masters? Irrelevant. Okay, what is best after my masters in an irrelevant domain like MSc, MBA, etc., diploma or any certification program? So my suggestion is again, whatever program you take, try and take it which is rigorous. That's very, very important. That breadth of knowledge that you will gain, the depth of knowledge, the recognition. Is this recognized by Government of India, or is it just a certificate that a university is giving? That's very, very important. Is it following the guidelines that University Grants Commission or UGC, which is part of Government of India, has listed down? Because UGC has listed down a lot of nice rules to ensure that universities don't just distribute certificates. There are some universities which just distribute certificates left and right. So there is a process to what the UGC, which is part of Government of India, has done. So my suggestion for you here is, if you have done an MSc or an MBA, a diploma course might be slightly better. The reason being, it is more like an academic degree with all the industry focus that you would need, right? So always try to whichever program you pick, right, from whichever university, ask yourself, what is the syllabus? What is the breadth and depth that you will cover? Is this recognized by a government body? These are important questions to ask. And is this recognized world over? Is this degree or diploma recognized world over? These are very important questions. Okay, so let me answer some other questions, which is time series covered in the curriculum? Yes. I think it's not explicitly mentioned, but we will cover whatever is needed for time series, starting from basic ARIMA models, simple moving window models, to state-of-the-art in recurrent neural networks, right? So again, in our deep learning section, we have recurrent neural networks where we'll see how advanced time series analysis can be done using deep learning, but we'll also cover all the basics needed. So time series will be covered in all of its glory. We'll also have some real world case studies or real world projects that we will solve end to end related to time series data. Cool. Okay, so what if I miss a live session? Does it get recorded? Yes, we will record the live session, live interactive session, but we strongly recommend you attend it, because that interactiveness is very, very important. While it will be available even after the live session is over in a recorded format, we strongly recommend our students to attend them in person if possible. Okay. Will I be able to compete in Kaggle after the diploma? Yes. Actually, as part of the diploma program itself, during the diploma, once you learn a bunch of concepts, probably in a second semester, we encourage our students to participate in Kaggle competitions, right? I mean, again, you can take up a very nice problem from Kaggle and make it your, because there is data readily available for you, you can work on a Kaggle problem itself as your thesis project. Why not? Right? Because there is data set readily available, and it's a great way to solve real world problems, right? So that's perfectly all right. So I have a gap of 4 years, and will I be eligible for this program? As long as you have completed your bachelor's degree, you don't have any backlogs, you're eligible for this program. And the most important factor that will determine whether you'll excel in this program or not is the effort that you will put in. See, I don't know the reason behind why you have a 4 years career gap, But if you put in the necessary effort, if you work hard, again, there is no replacement for working hard. If you work diligently and hard, we have seen a lot of students with career gaps in our AI course who have done phenomenally well by putting in a lot of hard work. So if you do that, you can excel at the end of it. No doubts about it. Okay. One other, okay, let me see. Okay. One other thing. So as far as some people are asking where to reach out to you after the session and things like that. So first and foremost, congratulations to all the students who have got the admission from University of Hyderabad. I believe they've shared the admission letter, a signed copy of the admission letter. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Just go to appliedroots.com/diploma. We have phone numbers listed there. Feel free to call them. Again, we might run out of time. There'll always be time constraints. So don't think that this is the end of the session for Q&A. I'll try and spend some more time and answer some questions here. But whatever I'm not able to answer here, please feel free to go to our website. There are phone numbers. Some of our co-founders will answer those questions. There's also an email address at appliedroots.com/diploma. Please shoot your email or call us. We'll try and answer as many questions as possible. Okay, cool. One other important thing is, okay, I'm just looking at the chat window now. Just give me a second. Okay, so another question that Durga Prasad is asking here is, again, I'm looking at the chat window here, is MTech versus this program. If you already have an MTech from a top university, feel free to join it. I mean, surely an MTech is a more 2-year program with far more that you can cover. But as I just mentioned, we have a lot of students who are currently pursuing MTech in Indian Institute of Science or IIT or some of these top universities who take our applied AI course. So it's not this or that. You can do both of them parallelly. Okay, you'll get all the academic credentials of an MTech program, and you'll get all the industry focus that we focus on as part of academic rigor and academic rigor as part of the diploma program. Okay. So when will we get the ID card after admission or already admission over? Again, just to be clear here, on behalf of all the students, we have requested the University of Hyderabad, because some students did not have all the certificates ready. So we requested them to extend the deadline for admissions. So the admissions are currently open. Please go to appliedroots.com/diploma. Applications are open. We requested the university to do it on rolling basis, which means you can apply now. Within under 2 weeks, they'll decide whether you're admitted or not. If you're admitted, you can join. After you are admitted, after you pay your first semester fee, after all the confirmation, you will get the admit letter. You'll get the you'll get the student ID card. The student ID card is like, you can use it for, I think, if I'm not wrong, you should be able to use it even for, one great discount I see with, again, you can use this ID card to enter into university campus. Okay, you can use university resources because it's like any other student ID card. Number one, if you're in Hyderabad, or if you're visiting Hyderabad, feel free to visit the university. That's perfectly all right. You can use their phenomenal, very vast library and resources. Number one. Number two would be, you can also get, I think some companies give student discounts, right? For example, I know Apple gives student discounts for purchasing laptops, etc. So that's another place where this ID card is valid, and this is a valid student ID card that the university gives. So it's fully rigorous that way. Okay, cool. So Rajiv says, how is this course helpful for product managers transitioning to AI machine learning? Very nice question, Rajiv. Again, I'll try and answer some questions here for sure. So as far as product manager transition itself is concerned, as I just mentioned at the very beginning, there is a huge scarcity of product managers in AI and machine learning. What this course will teach you, along with programming and all of that, it will teach you, because a lot of the content is designed with applied nature in mind. Right? So you will learn how real world problems are solved. Like, for example, we'll take some problem at Swiggy, right? Or similarly, we'll take some problem at Netflix. We'll take some problem at Flipkart, right? We'll take some of these problems and discuss about how to solve these. Again, we'll have guest speakers from some of these companies describing how they solved the problems themselves in-house, right? It will be like a guest speaker talk. Now, the advantage in that is it will give you a lot of perspective on how product managers can combine the product management principles that they know along with advances in AI and machine learning. So this program will give you all that applied knowledge in addition to effort estimation. So as a program manager, you'll now say, hey, how much time does it take for us to build a convolutional neural network to solve this problem? If you know some of the basics, if you know the computational needs, if you know the programming needs, along with real world problem solving, you will be able to better manage your products and services. Okay, cool. How to attend the examination for international students? It's all online. You will have a dedicated time slot at which time you need to log into the portal, into the examination portal, and tackle the questions one by one, right? Of course, we will ask you permission to record your video during the examination and also your screen along with your audio. So you need a webcam enabled laptop or desktop, entry level will do, along with a microphone and speaker. Since all the examinations are online, of course, we will verify the recorded video to ensure that people haven't cheated all that. So we'll follow all those guidelines. Again, this is the same guidelines that University of Hyderabad and other universities are following today to conduct remote exams in the time of COVID. We're just following the same guidelines that the university is following for their semester and exam programs for the regular students as part of their MTech and PhD programs. Okay, cool. Will it help a person pursuing PhD in AI or not? Sandeep, that's a good question you asked. So as I just mentioned, we even have some students who are pursuing PhDs, even assistant professors at some colleges and universities who are enrolled, who have applied for this program. And the reason when we talk to them and try to understand, they want to, again, they're students probably in their initial or later years of their PhD, who want to learn the applied aspects in addition to the rigor that they got in their PhD program, primarily to prepare themselves better for industry roles post their PhD. That's for people who are in the later stages of their PhD. People who are in the earlier stages of the PhD want to learn all the basics, obviously, because anyway we cover everything very rigorously from a mathematical standpoint, also to get an understanding of real problems that they can make as foundations for their PhD thesis. Okay, so they want to use this as the foundational work that they're doing for their PhD thesis, for which they might spend a couple of more years afterwards. Okay. So good question. Pankaj says, I have a BCA now. After Diploma in AI Machine Learning, will I be able to pursue master's program for IIT in data science or analytics? If I'm not wrong, all the programs at IITs expect you to have, if you're a BCA student, they expect you to have a MCA or an MSc in computer science. That's the eligibility criteria for writing GATE and for joining IIT, right? That's the eligibility criteria. So this diploma program is not a replacement for an MCA program or an MSc program, because an MCA is a 3-year program if I'm not wrong, and an MSc is a 2-year program, while the diploma is a 1-year program. So it is not a replacement to an MCA or an MSc. Cool. Shall I go for PhD or AIC? I mean, if your objective is to do fundamental research, and if you have an admission from a good university under a good professor, please go for PhD. You'll learn a lot more there, but you have to commit to spend at least 5 years on a PhD. Let's not forget that fact. Okay. Cool. MCA is 2 years now. I'm sorry. Yeah, it was 3 years earlier. I think it's now changed to 2 years. Yes. Thank you, Neil, for the correction. Thank you. Cool. So Shilpa Manjunath, her question here is opportunities after completion of this program with an MBA having 8 years of experience. Again, Shilpa, I believe your 8 years of experience post MBA would be in some domain, right? Sales, business development, whatever it is. So my suggestion for you, just like other software professionals, is build on top of your expertise. Try to solve some of the key problems in which, suppose you have marketing experience. Let's just say, ask yourself, how do you measure the effectiveness of marketing using data science and machine learning tools? That's a very, very important problem. I mean, I worked on this problem firsthand at Amazon, and I know the real challenges. It's a very, very challenging problem, because that's what a lot of marketing divisions at large companies like Procter & Gamble want to solve. They pump so much money into marketing efforts. They want to measure what is the ROI in each of these marketing efforts. Right? And if you have 8 years of marketing experience, you know the domain really, really well. Now try to learn the techniques of data science and machine learning as part of your thesis project. You can work on a problem in the intersection of your domain expertise and your and the data science and machine learning concepts that you build, and that will become a focal point in cracking interviews, right? Because in an interview you can say, hey, I have 8 years of experience in marketing, and this is a very important problem in marketing which is solved using data science and machine learning techniques, and here is the solution. I mean, if you have an end-to-end solution, that's great, right? Cool. So another question here is, how about BCA and BCom students? Most likely for students who have a bachelor's degree in commerce or computer applications, most relevant role for you, or BSc in physics or mathematics, most relevant role for you, also more easily crackable, is a data analyst role. Again, data analyst role expects you to have some mathematical rigor, some programming knowledge, but that's a very logical path for people with an undergraduate degree in science, commerce, or business applications, or BCA, etc. Right? So that's a role that you can easily crack, comfortably crack by the end of this program. Cool. Again, the compensation range for data analysts is very wide, right? So a company like top product-based companies, right? They pay a very healthy salary of about 7-8 lakhs for data analysts comfortably. Some even paying up to 10 lakhs for a data analyst. Services company pay starting at about 3.5 to 4 lakhs. So for data analyst, that's the range. For data scientists, certainly more. See, data analyst compensations are less than data scientists. Data scientists and machine learning engineers roughly have same range. Some machine learning engineers might have a slightly higher package than data scientists. Applied scientists have some of the highest compensations because it's also harder to crack those roles. Okay, cool. Again, if you're somebody with an MSc Physics, because I'm assuming you know a lot of mathematics, you have learned a lot of advanced mathematics, including statistical techniques. So you can comfortably crack both data analyst and data scientist roles by building all the programming proficiency and the mathematical rigor and applied aspects that we will cover as part of the program, right? So that's something that you don't have to worry. So how to choose the domain as a fresher? Very nice question that Shikhar is asking. You can, as a fresher, you have a lot of advantage, right? You can pick anything that you want. We would recommend you to pick a nice problem in natural language processing, probably some internet domain problem, because we all use internet domain stuff, right? So pick a problem of some internet tools that you use, right? And solve that. Whether it's NLP, whether it's computer vision, anything is all right. You can pick any of them, solve general problems. You don't have to solve specific problems. And that's all is expected from a fresher, obviously. So this question is about next batch. Again, we are discussing with University of Hyderabad. Typically, the diploma programs start once a year. They are typically from Jan to December. That's a typical thing. But based on students' requests, we have requested University of Hyderabad to consider starting a program in July, middle of the year, because students will finish their BTech, BSc by May, June, right? But university has not confirmed anything to us, so we cannot guarantee anything. Hopefully, we'll have the second session surely next year. That is more or less, I mean, fingers crossed, mostly that will happen anyway. So that's the core idea here. Cool. So another very nice question. I think this question is about the PG diploma versus diploma. It's a very good question. I'm glad it was asked. I just saw it in the chat window. So as per the new guidelines by Government of India, which just came in, I think late November. So University Grants Commission, or UGC, which is part of Government of India, and also which is designing the new education policy guidelines for NEP 2020, all of that stuff. They have informed all universities in India that PG diplomas should be 2 years starting from 2021. Okay, that is, they said any PG diploma starting from 2021 Jan 1st has to be 2-year programs. They said diplomas can be 1 year, but PG diploma should be 2 years. And the reason they did that was some universities were misusing the PG diploma as a proxy for master's degree. Okay, not all universities, some universities are using PG diploma as a proxy for an MSc or an MTech or a ME, right? So they said, hey, we see some universities misusing this PG diploma and making it equivalent to an MTech. So they said, no, if you want to use the word PG diploma, if you want recognition from Government of India, it has to be a 2-year program. And we felt having a 2-year long program is too long. From our own, we discussed extensively with University of Hyderabad, and they said diploma programs can be 1 year, but this program itself will be academically at the same level as a PG program, right? Even if you see the admission criteria that we have now, you have to finish your bachelor's degree by December 2020, right? So the course curriculum, the course rigor, the industry focus, everything will be at a postgraduate level. But the PG diploma wording itself cannot be used starting Jan 2021 unless it's a 2-year program, right? And we didn't want to do a 2-year PG diploma program because, I mean, doesn't make sense. It's better to have a 2-year MS program or a 2-year MTech program than a 2-year PG diploma program. So when we discussed with the University of Hyderabad, they said diploma 1-year programs are all UGC recognized. The reason, again, remember, the government of India has to make sure that some universities, not all, but some universities don't misuse what the guidelines given by government of India. And because some universities have misused it, they're saying all PG diplomas, if you want recognition from government of India, has to be 2 years. So starting Jan 2021, Jan 1st 2021, any PG diploma that's 1 year, it is not recognized by UGC or government of India. That's why we didn't want to have any confusion or conflict. So we discussed extensively even with the Vice Chancellor at University of Hyderabad, and we decided that it should be diploma in AI and machine learning because diplomas can be 1 year, they're recognized by UGC. Okay, so that's a very, very important point. Again, any PG diploma that you see, which is 12, which is anything less than 24 months, anything less than 2 years is not recognized by government of India, or to be precise, UGC, which is part of government of India. Okay, so very, very important. That's why we named it as Diploma in AI and Machine Learning. And we want to follow the guidelines given by Government of India to the last letter, right? Whether it's examinations, whether it is course curriculum, we are following it to the last letter. Okay, so we don't want to give like useless degrees or useless diplomas. And we are very happy that University of Hyderabad also agrees with us. As a top university, right? As an institute of eminence, they don't want to behave like a 3rd grade university, right? They want to stick to the norms given by Government of India and follow them to the last letter. Okay, that's the reason for it. Okay, cool. Yes, so Prince is asking, is this diploma certificate recognized across the world? That's what I mentioned probably a half an hour ago, that we have verified it with the University of Hyderabad as an institute of eminence. Any degree that they give, any mark sheets, any grades that they give is recognized by governments, companies, institutions across the world. And if you go and apply for a permanent residency in US, Canada, Australia, Europe, anywhere, or if you apply for a job, they use an institution called WES, World Education Services, which verifies your degrees across the world. So UOH, when WES says, hey, this is the student ID number, did he do your degree? What are his mark sheets? UOH shares all the details with the government or with the university or with the company that is asking those details. So it is recognized everywhere in the world. Cool. Okay, so Shaumin says there are such many named institutions using PGD in AI machine learning in 1-year program. Probably they were using it in the past, but the university informed us formally, if you can go verify it on UGC website. UGC has given a very clear UGC is part of Government of India, right? It's University Grants Commission. They clearly said that all PG diplomas starting Jan 2021 have to be 2 years, otherwise they're not recognized. So any other university or company that is offering them, please feel free to ask them, because that's a fact. This is a government order. By a very powerful and very influential government body. UGC controls a vast number of universities. I think there are a very small handful of universities that are outside UGC. Literally a handful of universities. And even those universities often work with UGC. Cool. Again, maybe some of those are private universities. Some of the universities that you're talking about, maybe private universities which give degrees or certificates that are not recognized by Government of India. So please, I don't want to comment about those institutions or companies. Please feel free to talk to them. Okay. Is it recognized by NASSCOM? Obviously, any degree given by UOH under UGC guidelines, he is recognized by NASSCOM. Forget about NASSCOM. It's recognized by all the other major governments and universities across the world, right? The governments, like we specifically checked the Canadian permanent residency website, talked to University of Hyderabad, similarly Australian permanent residency website, reached out to WES, and they said, yes, we all verify, we all agree that any degree or diploma given by UIH is recognized because it's an institute of eminence. It's one of the top research universities in India. Cool. So the question here is there any MS program? Currently, no. So let's see how that works. So is there any opportunity to reduce the fee for the international students? Again, all the decisions about fee for domestic international students is taken by UIH. It is not within our power or discussion. The fee difference between domestic students and international students is mandated by UGC because they've seen some problems in the past. Those guys know, those guys have been doing this. UGC has been there, I think, for 50 years now, right? So they know, I'm sure they have a solid reason why they have a different fee structure for international students. So we have to stick to that. Very good question. So Pankaj says, will you give us any reference or study material? Yes. So for every course, we'll share PDFs of study material along with the course videos that you can use. We'll also provide external reference links. You may not need textbooks per se, but even the textbooks that we will refer will be open source textbooks, publicly available resources, or free of cost resources that you can use. Of course, if you want, we can also recommend textbooks which cost. That's up to you to pick up. Okay, but we'll give you all the study material because that's again mandated by UGC. We have to give you study material as part of the program. We will do that on a course by course basis. Okay. Somebody is asking about placement assistance. I mentioned this at the very beginning. So you can, again, this whole session will be publicly available on YouTube. So you can watch this whole session even after it is over. Okay. Cool. I'm working. Okay. So I think most of these questions have been covered. So even for foreign students who are participating in this program, we'll try to accommodate them that it will all be weekend sessions only. We'll try to make them weekend in India and in most parts of the world. Again, if you have somebody from a very crazy time zone, you will have to accommodate. We'll have to go by majority vote. We will surely do all of it only in weekends. Okay. Can a working professional take PG course? Yes. If you're a working professional who can cater 10 hours a week, I think you can comfortably finish the course. And the course is designed keeping working professionals in mind, right? While it's designed, see, the minimum eligibility criteria is an undergraduate degree, which means you'll see many more working professionals. Of course, some students pursuing their master's or PhD also. So it is designed in such a way that working professionals can comfortably finish it in 1 year and get good grades at the end of it. Cool. Let me just, my team is also, okay. Okay, so, okay, I think most of the questions that you have asked have been covered. I'm just looking at the chat window. So again, those questions which are seeping in now, feel free to, again, we would have answered most of these. There are some repetitions, and anything that I could not answer, please understand that, again, this session was supposed to be a 1 hour session. We're already 82 minutes into the session. If you count the first 10 minutes, we're already 90 minutes into the session. So I will not take more of your time. But please remember that this is not the end of the session. Any question you have, whether it's about the diploma program itself, whether it's about the placement assistance, anything, any question you have, feel free to call us on the phone numbers listed on our website, which is appliedroots.com/diploma. Okay. Thank you very much, folks. Thank you for taking the time, and hope you have a good weekend, and thank you once again. Bye-bye.